So Bruce Orr was the Associate Attorney General. He was the fourth-ranking official in the entire Department of Justice. He just testified before the House that the DOJ knew about the Steele dossier, the one that had all those lurid, unverified details about weird sex in Moscow, that they had that earlier than had previously been testified. Now, Bruce Orr matters because Bruce Orr's wife, Nellie Orr, was working for Fusion GPS, which was an opposition research firm that put together the Steele dossier, that contracted this guy Christopher Steele to do the Steele dossier. This was bought and paid for by the Clinton campaign and the DNC. Bruce Orr, the Associate Attorney General's wife, was working for them, and Bruce Orr did not publicly disclose this. This is just one of the many things that smell really fishy about this whole Russia investigation. So anyway, Bruce Orr goes up to Congress. He testifies that the previous testimony about when the FBI and DOJ knew about that Steele dossier was false. Previously, we had heard that the DOJ and the FBI did not know about the Steele dossier until September. And so this matters because they then in October went to get a FISA warrant to surveil Carter Page working for the Trump campaign. Okay, now what we find out from Bruce Orr, who's in a real position to know, is that he told the FBI and the DOJ about Christopher Steele, about how Steele was working for the Democrats, about how Christopher Steele, quote, was desperate that Trump not be elected. He told them about this in July. So now they know about this in July. They know that this dossier is not only unverified, but it's politically biased, it's bought and paid for by Democrats, and that the guy who put it together has a serious grudge against Donald Trump, does not want him to be elected. Nevertheless, the FBI and the DOJ persist for a few months. Then they go to get the FISA warrant in October, and they basically lie to the federal judge. So they at least misled the federal judge in October of 2016 to get that FISA warrant. And this is a big deal. You might say, well, lawyers mislead judges all the time. It's very different in the FISA courts. James Comey himself testified about this. He said on December 7th that this amounts to abuse of the FISA system. It is totally expected that when the DOJ and FBI go before the FISA judges, they will present all of the evidence, not just part of the evidence and say, look, some intelligence person says that Donald Trump made a weird videotape in Moscow with a bunch of hookers on Obama's bed. It's not just that you present that, but you also say, oh, by the way, this has not been verified. The guy who did it has a grudge against Donald Trump. He's desperate for him not to be elected. Oh, and by the way, it was paid for by Hillary Clinton and the Democrats. If you leave that part out, you are misleading the federal judge. That's what Bruce Orr, fourth-ranking DOJ official, is alleging now, is testifying before the Congress. This is a game changer. It's not a game changer in that we already knew that this Russia investigation stunk to high heaven, but now we're getting it from the horse's mouth, or at least the fourth-ranking horse's mouth. Really, really big event. I think probably what it means is you're going to see Mueller turn up the heat even more. You're going to see Democrats rally around Mueller even more. But this whole investigation seems illegitimate.